Welcome to Twin Talk. Twins by birth.
Weirdos by choice. Yeah. We're always so awkward after we do that bit. I just want to show you guys my top. Human by day, alpha by night.
This is what happens when you go to the gym, by the way. Beast mode activated.
Yeah, this is top's cringe, but when you say that, it just made it way more cringe. I just thought this would just be a funny gag to wear for the potty. So today, tonight, but anyways, today we I'm scared of now.
What are you doing?
Okay. Gather myself. Okay.
Gathered.
Alright, so today we are going to talk about a psychic detective. I was thinking, what can we do a podcast about? And then for some reason in my head, I was like, I wonder if there's any psychic people out there that have like helped with cases. And I looked it up and there has been.
I was listening to like Lockie was falling. Now I'm scared. Lockie was falling asleep to a podcast last night and.
Mr. Baldwin? No.
No, it was it was Yowie Central, I think.
No.
And she was talking to a psychic and they were talking about like their experience, like sending, I don't know, talking to Crime Stoppers and things with their experience and yeah. And it's quite common, like people hire psychics sometimes in investigations when they're like kind of have nothing and like at a dead end.
Yeah. So on the Yowie Central thing, we definitely need to do an episode about Yowies. But on today's episode, so this is about Nancy Weber. She's been on a few...
So she's a psychic?
Yeah, so she's a psychic. She's been talked about on a few podcasts. I think she's been a guest on podcasts. If you look her up, you'll find more information about her. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting. So, Caitlin doesn't know anything about this.
No, I told her to keep it all like until now.
She came over earlier and I was like, do you want me to read it to you? She's like, no, keep it a surprise. I'm like,
save it.
I was going to keep it a surprise, but then I was like, it's like when you buy a surprise gift for someone, you're like, okay, can I tell you? And you're like, I want to be surprised, but I really want to tell you. It's kind of like that, like I wanted to tell her, but then I'm glad you were like, no. Because then you get your reaction. So.
I'm hearing it for the first time with you guys as well.
Yes. Okay, and I just want to warn you all that there is talk about, because we're talking about, you know, cases and victims. There is violence, there is murder, and there is SA in some of these stories. I think in both of them, actually.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So if that's a bit heavy, click out and we'll see you next time.
Or click out if this is your first time seeing us and watch another one of our videos, because they're a lot lighter. Okay, so who is Nancy Orlin Weber? I'm hoping I'm saying her name right, I'm not sure. Nancy began her career in nursing in 1963, where she first discovered her psychic abilities, predicting diagnoses of some of her patients. So, I've tried to fact check this, but like it's all back in the day, so I'm sorry if this is not correct or whatever, but this is what I've read, and I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that. And
be like, hey, you're dying. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like, I just checked all your bloods and I've got all the things up here. That's what I was thinking after I typed it. I was like, this is so cool. And then I typed it all up and I was like, wait, if she's a nurse, she could just look at all of the facts and be like, okay, this is probably your diagnosis. So, like, who knows if that's actually true. It was, like, it could just be her nursing skills. But maybe it was like when she first saw them and she was like,
or like
you're going to go to emergency because I know it's not going to be.
Yeah. Or like they're in the hospital for something completely different and then she predicts like a future thing maybe.
But yeah. And so that was her when she first kind of discovered them, but she didn't really do anything about them until she was pregnant with her first husband and he attacked her, which was classed as attempted murder. She survived, so did her child, I believe. However, this led to her having several health issues and forced her to quit nursing in 1975.
Wow.
These health issues, like, they weren't just simple things. They were severe, like, health issues. That's why she had to quit. So
Did it say what health issues they were?
It didn't say.
Probably PTSD is probably one of them. I'd say there'd be a lot of mental struggles.
Well,
like,
yeah.
From experiencing that kind of trauma. I mean,
think
it doesn't
a lot
sound
of physical,
like a real great husband, so it probably wasn't like the first incident of something happening.
And back in those days, yeah. Like, who knows? I probably could have looked into more information, but if you guys are interested, I can just, like, next episode, give you a little recap. But, yeah, back in those days as well, like,
yeah,
who knows what the situation was like. She probably couldn't even leave that situation until that happened.
Oh, yeah, no.
But this event, this attempted murder on her life, ended up being a catalyst, ended up making her quit her nursing job, but was a catalyst to all of these amazing opportunities and things that opportunities, but things that she took action on as well afterwards. So it was a catalyst to her devoting herself full-time to intuitive healing, mediumship, animal communication, and psychic detective work.
Yes, Charlie.
So my dog's trying to snuggle up to Caitlin. And when I say intuitive healing, I think that was also her trying, like, healing herself as well.
Well, intuitive healing comes into the predicting diagnosis of patients. So
yeah.
Like, maybe, that injury or whatever happened to her, like, forced her out of work but gave her the time to, you know,
yeah, I think I read something. Skills. I was trying to make it kind of, like, short and quick, but I'm pretty sure I read something where, she was, like, she actually was able to heal a lot of herself through her...
Oh, her own healing. Yeah. That's crazy.
But I'm not quite sure to what extent. Or whatever. Yeah. So Nancy first started working with law enforcement in 1979. She provided critical insights into homicide, missing person, and embezzlement cases. She was
queen.
She was actually, I think, the only or the first probably psychic honoured with a sheriff's commendation, an honorary chief of detectives badge, and even served as an auxiliary. Do you know how to say that word?
Auxiliary. Well, now you've made me overthink it. I don't.
Auxiliary. Yeah, anyways. as in something or rather police officer after police academy training.
Oh wow! So she's like in the force now.
Well, I don't know if she's in the force. Like, I don't know
but she's done
what training she did. Yeah. Like, it might have just been the most basic training.
That's so cool. But, like, where did she, like, she went from, like, obviously not having any work, developing her skills, and then she's just, like, been out there just being a mad bitch, just, like, solving cases and crime. And like, how did that leap happen into
in those days, like, I feel like, and in these days, maybe, I'm not even quite sure, maybe these days they might be a little bit more open to it, but you need evidence to solve, like...
Yeah, like, how does she get into the law enforcement?
I'm not quite sure how she gets into it. I can't remember, but maybe someone reached out to her and then it happened. But
like, word of mouth.
But, like,
that kind of happened.
Yeah, she had such an impact on some of these cases where... Back in those times, you can imagine, like, the police would have been like...
Back in those times.
Yeah.
It's really not that long ago.
Yeah. But, like, the police would have been like... so much things have changed, you know, in those times.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, they would have been like, probably you're a woman, get away.
Oh, like the stereotypes
and you're, like,
prejudice
you're a psychic,
and stuff.
like, you're something crazy, whatever.
Some barriers, definitely.
And in one of these stories, like, she is pushed away out of a... I'll read it, but yeah. She's also written several notable books: Psychic Detective, The Life of a Psychic Detective, All Nature Speaks, which demonstrates on her work as an animal communicator.
That's cool.
Which I think is interesting. And then Soul Detective. So, yeah, these are, like, the first one offers true cases and exercises for developing intuition. Another one's a memoir and a guide on how she assisted law enforcement. I'd actually be interested in getting that. And the animal communicator. That's just interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah. So today I'm going to read to you and to Caitlin 2 cases where she has helped the police solve cases.
Okay, get into it. I'm so interested to, like, hear.
We should drink
what she's done.
So the first case is, and I'm sorry if I read these names wrong. I don't know why my head just doing that noise. Is about...
Oh God. Can I read one of these?
Yeah, you can.
Out loud.
Yeah, you can read the second one. I
Alright.
thought you might want to. Is Amie Hoffman and Deirdre O'Brien. And, okay, so here we go. Amie Hoffman went missing one night under mysterious circumstances. Her car was found with the door wide open and her pocketbook left on the seat. I think it was in a car park somewhere. It didn't look like a robbery, so why was she taken? When her body was found days later, police realised they were dealing with a brutal and calculated killer. Enter Nancy Webber, a local psychic. She had helped police before, and she'd stayed close friends with Detective Bill Hughes. When news of Amie's murder broke, Nancy immediately felt something was off. She told Bill Amie had been SA'd, which was something that was not released to the public. So she actually called him and she was like...
And they're like, how do you know that?
Yeah, she called them and she was like, why isn't this being told?
Yeah.
Or something similar to that. She was like, why am I not seeing this on the news?
Yeah, like, why
and
are you
they
not
were
telling
like,
the full story?
Yeah. So, and they're like, oh, well, we didn't actually know this. Like, this is news to us too.
Oh, they didn't know.
Yeah, so she's...
Oh my god, what, they found the body and they didn't, like, do any kind of...
Well, I don't know. Like, but it wasn't, out to the public.
Yeah.
So desperate for leads, the police formed a task force. Bill, who obviously she was the one that contacted,
the detective,
convinced his captain Jim Moore to give Nancy a chance, even though Moore was skeptical.
I love this. This is like so like a TV show. You know what I mean? Like there's literally TV shows about this.
I don't
what
know
are they
why
called?
when I heard Bill Hughes, it reminded me of that book by Stephen King that I read, Holly. I feel like one of the characters is named Bill, so that's probably why. But I was like, Bill Hughes, it just sounds like that out of that book. But yeah.
That's such a and then the detective and the psychic fall in love at the end of the series. Like after like a few series, like there's obviously gotta be tensions, gotta build up, and then there's gotta be like some things that go wrong, and then the psychic nearly dies, and the detective saves her, and then it's like a revolution that they're actually in love with each other, obviously.
Well, I did say her first husband, so I don't know who her second husband is, but I feel like it might not be Bill Hughes. But anyways.
No. This is a separate story that I've
this is
what you plot.
Yeah.
Like a classic crime plot. It's set like in the UK as well. Like it's like rainy and like dark and moody as well. That's the vibe. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted.
She's in a whole other world right now. Okay. So back to the story, the real life story. That does sound like it could be a good TV show. So Bill convinced his captain Jim Moore to give Nancy a chance, even though Moore was skeptical. They took her to the mall where mall was where the car was. I'm not sure. They took her to the mall where Amie was last seen, without giving her any details. So they just took her to this mall. Nancy walked straight to the exact spot of the abduction and began describing what happened as if she'd seen it unfold in real time.
You'd almost be nervous as well, like as a psychic, like if they don't take me seriously, they're going to wonder where I got this information from, and I could be a prime suspect right now.
Yeah, that's so true. But I was thinking before, like her skills must be so on point for her to see all that stuff. Like that's a fucking flex.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So she walked straight to the spot, described what happened as if she had seen it unfold in real time. They took her to the next location where Amie's body had been found. As they got closer, Nancy became visibly shaken. She said she could hear Amie crying out for help. Again, without knowing anything about the case beforehand, she led detectives directly to the murder site. So, I think it was in the area where her body was found. Then another murder happened.
Oh, it's a serial killer.
This time at a highway rest stop. A truck driver saw a green sedan near the scene. Just like the one spotted that night, Amie was taken. Nancy knew it was the same man. Nancy said the new victim, Deirdre O'Brien. I just gave myself goosebumps. My hairs are like literally standing up.
What the hell? Hold up.
Nancy's the new victim, Deirdre O'Brien, because it was a new person. They didn't really know much about this person.
Is it another woman?
Yes, they're both women. Worked at a library. Deirdre O'Brien had worked at a restaurant called The Library at the highway, which is pretty crazy.
Wait, what? So one of them worked at a library and one of them worked at a restaurant named Library.
No, Nancy was like the victim, the new victim. She worked at a library.
Oh, right.
At the library.
Right. Yes, okay,
in
that's
fact,
crazy.
she had worked at the library, but it was a restaurant called the Library.
That's so cool.
At the highway rest stop, Nancy saw a vivid vision, so they took her there, and she got the vision. Deirdre being pulled from the trunk of the killer's car, assaulted, stabbed, and left for dead on the side of the ramp. Nancy even saw her stumble to the killer before dying in his arms. Fueled by rage, she watched the vision over and over until she caught a glimpse of the killer's face. So over and over.
Perspective until she could see his face.
Like she just kept tuning in until she could just see something that was of use.
Oh my god.
And she just got a glimpse of his face.
It'd be so traumatic though, like to put yourself in that, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something strange happened. She began seeing through his eyes. So
what the heck?
So they'd obviously I don't know if they had I don't think they found the body yet. Oh no, they took her to the highway rest stop, so maybe they did. But they didn't know that she had been like assaulted and stabbed and left for dead and then crawled into the killer's arms and died in there. And so so she began seeing through his eyes. Despite her vivid visions and accurate details, the investigation was stuck. So she just wants to help this investigation happen.
Yeah.
But they don't have any information. They've got a green sedan.
That's all.
That's all they've got. And so Nancy just pushed herself.
The best.
And they might have like a vision of someone that she might have seen a glimpse of his face, but they probably would be like, okay, could be the killer. We can't be 100% sure because this is just a vision of a psychic. Yeah. So she pushed herself, watching her psychic impressions again and again. Then she finally began piecing together a description. So later on, as Nancy was riding with Bill and Jim in the car at a certain place, she felt suddenly the killer hated the police in the area and had been stopped here before.
Oh.
She literally stopped them. She was like, where are we?
Because you've stopped him before.
Yeah, so she was in the car and she just said to them, she just perked up, she's like, where are we? And she asked him, she's like, because the killer doesn't like the police in this area and he's been pulled over before. And they started talking to a local officer in that area and then she picked up...
To see like if they had history of like giving him someone a ticket or something.
Yeah, and then she picked up something else. She picked up that an officer whose name started with a hard C had pulled over the killer. She saw a vision of that cop writing the killer a ticket and saw the names James, K, and something on the ticket.
Oh my god, she's really picking up so much information. That's crazy.
That's a lot of information.
Yeah.
Anyways, Officer Costanza had written that ticket.
Oh.
But he was away on vacation. This was 1982. No cell phones, no quick way to reach him.
Yeah.
So they were also stuck.
Yeah.
But an officer with the last name with a hard C had pulled over someone.
That's crazy.
He called James K something.
Yeah.
But they
so
couldn't
they've got
get
some
any
information. They've got some information of what they kind of want to look for now.
Yeah, they couldn't get like any actual anything from him. They couldn't communicate.
They couldn't get like
him.
confirmation.
And so the task force called a big meeting, but when they learned Nancy was coming, they refused to let her in.
Rude.
Frustrated, Bill and Jim left with her. This could have been
fair.
This could have been a major.
That's so loyalty.
The thing could have been done and dealt with right there. They could have been like, yes, that's that person. I know Constanza. I was there with him on that case. Whatever, or he mentioned something about there could have been a conversation.
They didn't, did they?
No,
because they just.
But the two baddies, Bill and Jim, left with Nancy. They stuck by her side.
Love that.
So they were like, they ain't letting her in. We're going to. So that night, Nancy gathered her meditation and her psychic development students Because she was frustrated at this point. She wanted to find this killer.
Oh,
because
so she like runs classes and she's got some
Yeah.
students, so she like gathered all of them
Yeah.
together to do some bitch ass energy shit. What?
Yes. So she's like frustrated. Obviously, she's going over her visions. Like she wants to find this killer. She wants to help them.
Yeah.
And because he's obviously killed again, like she's
Yeah.
probably worried that he's going to
do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's a third victim like out there.
and
or
you have so
about
much
to be a third
information.
victim.
You're so close as well.
Yeah, like James K was pulled over by C in this area. Like
Go to Green Sedan.
go
Like
to Green Sedan. Like she's
you look at the
piecing
police
the
files.
pieces
They would
together
have
by
got the
now.
last name as well. But
Yeah.
like, I don't know. Like I think maybe they just didn't have someone to go yes or I don't know. They just and back in those days I don't know what it was like. Well, 1982. So who knows? It would have still been good.
Yeah.
But so she got her students together and got them to all channel their energy. They focused it on the killer, asking that he feel the pain that he had caused on others.
Oh, this is like witchcraft.
It's like some British shit. Yeah. In a way that he could never inflict harm again.
What the hell?
And
Like,
when I first glazed over it, I was like, okay, they all gathered their energy to help her like get another
yeah,
psychic
I
reading.
thought like get a clear like image and get some
And
more
then
information.
when I started
not
typing it all out, I was like, oh shit, no, I read over that wrong. Yeah.
What?
This actually was a great move by her and her students.
I love that. They're like, there's just like collective female rage just like pent up in a room, and they're all just like,
Well, maybe. Who knows what it would have looked like.
probably not like, probably more like, but you know.
But anyways, the next day, something incredible happened. Get myself goosebumps again. A man driving a green sedan.
Oh my god, he had like a car accident, like 'cause he felt all the pain or something.
No, well,
Turned himself in.
just
Okay, sorry.
he sort of turned himself in,
Okay.
and I think he tried to take someone again, but he fucked it up a little bit because they said you feel so much pain you can't do it again. So something in the energy's there. He hasn't been able to fulfill it properly because this is just my guess of what's happened because I'll read it out to you what actually happened and what I assume led to that. So a man driving a green sedan called 911 the next day. 911 the next day, claiming a woman with shoulder-length brown hair had stabbed him. Oh no, sorry. But the wound was self-inflicted.
Oh, so he's
So
saying
no,
that
she didn't try to get away. He actually inflicted himself and he said someone had stabbed her.
someone else had done it.
So yes, he pretty much turned himself in. But
Dickhead,
he wouldn't have
idiot.
realised that they had his name or
Dumb.
any of that kind of stuff. So it's just weird that he just stabbed himself and said someone stabbed me. Like, why would you do that?
Stupid. Oh, I see. Slow.
It's like he literally, like, they wanted him to feel the pain that he caused in someone else.
I love
it's
that.
like they made him actually do that
Well,
to
he
himself.
did it to himself, yeah.
and then turn himself, like, say, like, call 911 and, like, someone stabbed me, but he actually did it to himself. His name was James Coeditich, something like that.
Yeah.
James K.
James K.
Driving green sedan.
James K.
When police searched his car, they found evidence tying him to both murders. Thanks to Nancy's visions and a little psychic justice, they had their man.
That's so crazy. Like kind of way that's a coincidence that he like felt like stabbed himself and like didn't go through with it and all that shit happened. That's crazy.
Yeah, when I read that, I was like, oh.
Nancy's such a bad bitch, and then she's like, "Here is my army of bad bitches. Let's just like cause absolute mayhem and just fuck this guy up for what he's done because we can't figure it out."
Literally.
What?
Okay, so the next.
Oh my god.
Okay, so the next
wild.
story is a little bit shorter. That was a bit longer, that one. And you can read that. I think it might start on. No? Oh, it's just this page and that page.
Okay.
So that's.
Elizabeth Cornish and Nancy Weber. In 1987, Elizabeth Cornish was found essayed and bludgeoned to death in her New Jersey apartment. Her boyfriend made the devastating discovery and quickly became the prime suspect. With DNA testing not advanced enough to work with at the time, there were no solid leads other than the boyfriend, so police were stuck. Also, it's a boyfriend. Yeah,
So,
that's not looking good for him.
The boyfriend's found the body, and they've gone, well, that's pretty sus.
Yeah, and they've got nothing to, like, they can't
like,
look into
it's
the
in her
DNA
apartment,
or anything.
she's been essayed, like,
yeah.
you quickly think that was the boyfriend.
If 1 and 1 equals 2, then I don't know, it doesn't make sense. But anyways, so that's when Elizabeth's sister turned to someone outside of the box. Psychic.
A girl.
We all know who this is. Miss Nancy Weber, who had helped solve other impossible cases before.
Psychic Nancy Weber. Nancy, back to that time, back to 1987, when Peggy first contacted you, what do you do first?
She came to me. I didn't know what she was coming about. I tell people, don't tell me. I sat opposite her and I felt overwhelmed by horrible feelings and grief. So the first thing I did was say to her that I felt that there was a tragedy in her family, recent loss, and it happened in a horrible way. And Peggy started crying, and we spoke. I don't remember the words I said to her or the words she said, but I talked about the idea that the suspect, chief suspect, would be her boyfriend, but he was not guilty.
So Nancy, after being... so obviously Elizabeth's sister didn't think that the boyfriend was a killer, so she's obviously outsourced. So
yes, no, that's actually correct. Sorry, I put that in there. She was like,
oh yeah,
she's
like,
he couldn't be him.
Yeah, Nancy, after being contacted by Elizabeth's sister and taken to the scene of the crime, she came to the police. And so also Nancy was adamant that the boyfriend was not the killer.
So yeah, so the sister, she was like, this is not like him. This is like I know him, and this I just can't imagine it happening.
And then she's like, they're just gonna he's gonna go to jail for something that he hasn't done, and then there isn't like actual justice to what's happened to her sister, and potentially whoever's done this to her sister could go and do this to somebody else. Instead, she described the real killer in detail, from his height, hair colour, and to the scar on his face.
Yeah,
wow,
so
that's pretty telltale.
So what Nancy said was, she was adamant. I think she contacted the police, and she was like, no, it's not him.
But I know who it is.
Yeah. And, well, I think she first might have gone to the police and been like, it's not him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
yeah, sorry. Maybe start the sentence again.
So instead, she described the real killer in detail. So she went back at Paris. So she's gone to them first and then just come back.
I think so, possibly, or maybe not. I can't remember. I'm sorry. I just remember she's.
That's okay. I don't think it really matters.
I know it's not him.
Yeah. Okay. And so she's like, no, this is like how tall he is. This is the color of his hair. He's got this scar on his face. He wears this freaking Western buckle.
A vision as I walked into Elizabeth's living room, where I saw 5'10", reddish-brown hair, scar on his right cheek, Western belt buckle.
And he also lives in the same complex as Elizabeth. Wow. So she said his name was John, and his last name was short, just one syllable, potentially starting with R.
And they looked at me and said, well, there's a man living upstairs. I said, first name John? They said, yes. I said, last name begins with the letter R, single syllable. They said, Reese is his last name. I said, that's him.
She also said that the murder weapon was a hammer, which makes sense if she was, like...
she was bludgeoned.
Yeah. And they had thrown it into a nearby body of water. It's going to be hard to find. Police were skeptical, but everything she said matched someone they had already spoken to. So they'd already spoken to a man named John Reese, who was Elizabeth's upstairs neighbour. So that's like John, short name, last name starting with R, and lives in the apartment.
And the physical attributes that she said.
But there was a problem. Reese had already passed a lie detector test. Hey, we all know that these aren't actually accurate anymore.
Yeah, so like what's it called?
A seasoned polygraph expert had cleared him, so the police were ready to move on and refocus back on the boyfriend. But Nancy was like, you're making a mistake and you need to stick with John Reese. John Reese, hammer man with the Western buckle. Nancy believed the time of death was different to what they had reported.
And I said, he killed her probably around 3 a.m. or so. And they said, no, she was killed around 11. I said, no, she was killed around 3.
And this was proven true. and welcomed the breakthrough for the case. The autopsy revealed the time of death was not what police initially thought. Police, come on guys, get your shit together.
Well, they also have to wait, like, for the autopsy to get that.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so they hadn't done the autopsy yet.
Well,
They
like,
just made a prediction.
Yeah, I think so. And
Okay.
then when the results came, they're like, oh, wait a second. I'm not quite sure how long it would have taken for an autopsy back then.
Yeah, and they're like, wait a second, this is what Nancy said.
Mm.
So,
And then the autopsy report came back. It was about 10 days after death. And it showed she died, I think, at 3:15 a.m.
it completely blew apart Reese's alibi and proved Nancy's timeline was right. So suddenly, the past polygraph didn't mean much at all. Under pressure during a second round of questioning, John Reese confessed. He had beaten, essayed, and murdered Elizabeth Cornish in her own home. Everything Nancy had said, the scar, the belt, the hammer, even the name was 100% accurate, and police later found the hammer exactly where Nancy said it would be. Oh, I wonder, like, how they found that, if it was in a body of water. Hopefully it was in a big body of water. John Reese was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. This case cemented Nancy Weber's reputation not just as a gifted psychic, but as a legitimate crime-solving queen. In fact, she's one of the very few psychics in the US to ever be awarded a police badge for what you were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. Like, I just think that she's, like, so spot on that she can literally, like, tell me that you wouldn't just employ her at that point and be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
He's like 10 boxes full of cold cases that we haven't been able to solve before. Get to it.
Literally, like, the fact that she's got the description of these people.
Yeah.
She knew that guy lived in that place. She went to that Isabel's.
I wonder if her,
to her
a gift.
apartment, and she was like, "This guy lives here. He's this height. He's this. He's got a scar, and this is his freaking name."
Yeah.
Like, pretty much.
Like, I wonder if her gift is selective, because at that point, wouldn't you just be like, here, you have a position, join the workforce? Like, or does it only come up, like, every now and then? Like,
Well, I think she's either reached out to the police or someone's, like, a victim's probably reached out to her. I don't know about the cases afterwards.
yeah.
I couldn't find too much on that, but yeah, like, it's just crazy. Like, I would be like, you're employed. Stay by my side.
Employed.
You're gonna help me solve crimes. Like,
Yeah, here's your badge, here's your gun, here's your fucking, what else? Pepper spray. What else do you need when you join the police force?
I don't know, but
Here's your car, and just get crack-a-lackin'.
like, yeah, you can be my freaking partner. You can be my buddy in the
Yeah, you can be
fucking
my
force.
partner. This is what I mean. You're picking up what I'm putting down. The story that I'm picking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, he's a protector because he's been in the police for, like,
Who?
obviously the guy in my story. And he's, like, strong, and he's been in the police force for, like, a little bit of a while. He's actually, like, a little bit grumpy, you know, like a bit stubborn and a bit arrogant at times. And then, like, but he has to protect her because she doesn't, like, she can't wear a gun. She's not licensed to carry a firearm, but she does, like, all of the work, the psychic work, and they just, like, solve crimes together. But then he gets a little bit closed off because he's worried that she can, like, interpret, like, his thoughts and his feelings. He's been heartbroken before. So he wants to, like, he's, like, a little bit more reserved. But, like, she breaks down his walls eventually. And then, like, there's, like, this whole thing that, like, they can't really see each other because they're, like, what about their jobs? And they're, like, their partners and, like, in the enforcement and stuff. But, like...
So there's going to be a TV show on soon, and some random person is saying this, and it's, like, no credit towards you.
I feel like this has already been done, surely.
Yeah, probably. But that's so funny, because when I started reading this, I was like, I could write a book about this. I could write a book something to do with this. Like, it actually gets you thinking.
Yes, it's such a good storyline. Like, what do you mean?
And I like that. So how does that end?
How does it end? It's a near-death experience, obviously. Do you know what? Oh, got it. Okay. She gets captured by the latest suspect that they've been doing, like, it's just like a serial murder case. Like, it's getting intense. It's getting intense because it's also to do with, like, there's some corruption going on. So it actually is going into the workforce, so that the deeper they get into it, the people that are higher up don't want them to crack the case, right? Because there's a lot of corruption at play here. And she gets abducted. he's crazy, intelligent, this psycho, and he's like really good, and he takes her to this place. They can't freaking find her anywhere. Like obviously all the other side characters, like they're on the team, they try and find her.
He's breaking down because she's helped him in every case, and he goes,
And
what
so
would
then-
she do? What would she think?
Yes, and then so he taps into his own psychic ability, like minimal as it is. Well, he's analytic.
She visits him in his dreams.
Yeah, it's like a combination of
She
things.
like sends messages. She's like sitting there trapped in her cage, and she's giving it.
Yeah, and he's receiving the downloads, and suddenly things start clicking. All of his senses open. He can smell things. He can see things more, and it's just he finds.
Sorry, I don't know why I saw Twilight. It smelled like
He's a vampire.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, and he finds her obviously just before she's about to die. Like I don't know if you've ever seen Bones. You know that scene where she's like the grave digger guy or whatever, and she's covered in all of the dirt, and he just runs into like the middle of this field. He sees like the freshly there, and then he finds her, and he like is going through the dirt, and he like grabs her, and her hand comes out, and he like drags her out. Like the ending would be
Was
somewhat
she
like
in
that.
a car?
Yeah, I think they took the car and then tried to bury her alive. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
I'm here for it. I think it's like Daddy. It's giving Daddy.
Who?
He is.
The guy in your story.
Yeah.
What about the psychic? What's she giving?
I don't know yet.
You just want the daddy to be the main
just-
character. You just want daddy.
Okay, hear me out. Cast me. I'll be her. I'll be her.
I think it's cast me. I'll be daddy.
I'll be Daddy. I'll be her. You want to know what she's like? You're looking at her. Obviously with some like character, like physically she looks like me because I'm cast as her. But like her like personality, like you guys think on it, tell me, what is she like? Is she reserved? Is she quiet? Is she smart? Is she witty? Is she a little bit, I don't know, I feel like she's a little bit neurodivergent maybe. Maybe she's really confident. Maybe she's like a little bit insecure. We don't know.
Or is she like hesitant, like in Ghost Whisperer, but she's like, I've got to tell them anyways.
Well, she has to tell them. But like so many times before, people have just like made fun of her or belittled her, or they don't believe in her. Like he doesn't even believe her at the start, and then finally she finds someone that believes in her.
I was gonna think of Castle, like. He's like, what are you doing? She just waves away, and then he's like, can't get rid of you now.
Yeah.
Because like Castle's like not a detective, probably that's why I think you're thinking of that. Like he's a writer. So
Yeah,
she's
it's like the other way
psychic.
round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you do with your finger?
I got it stuck between like, I don't know, I just jammed it.
Oh.
I jammed my finger.
Hey, we don't do that to our viewers.
Sorry.
Love.
I was showing them my dodgy finger and you were just flipping them off.
Oh, shit. Turn that on me now.
Rude.
Alright, well, that's our stories on Nancy Weber. You like that? You got inspired by that?
I was very inspired. I really liked her. I think she's really cool. And yeah, cast me as like some derivative of Nancy Weber. Like there's a writer out there.
That would be cool, like a TV
There's
show.
a writer.
Like,
There's a screenwriter out there somewhere. Off you go. Start writing. And then call me when you're ready for casting. And I'll be here.
I feel like your voice, like, it's like getting hypnotizing then. It was like getting quieter and quieter. Now we're here, waiting.
We'll get that pilot episode going. We'll pitch it. We'll get the funding. We'll make it happen.
Okay.
Anyways, just think about like who you'd cast as detective. Okay. All of you, start thinking. You're a writer. Why don't you start writing?
Oh, shit.
Off you go.
You know when they like do like those things like celebrities, like who they would cast and things.
Yes. Who would you cast as? Obviously, I'm already cast as. There's no other choice for that. Who do you cast as the detective? Well, you're thinking of somebody. Your eyes went all like glazed over, and you're like, Daddy.
I was thinking of no, I just started thinking. I thought of Castle and then I thought of I was trying to think and then I thought of what's that guy, that show you like? But then I was like, no, he doesn't fit the police detective.
Guy on a show that I like.
It's like off Criminal Minds. Criminal Minds?
Oh, Spencer Reid.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. He gives off more side character energy in this kind of thing, like they're quirky but like kind of like he like helps out with like.
I feel like you need like a cross between Castle vibes, the guy of NCIS, the runs the show.
But the runs a show.
NCIS, you know, the one that Abby's like, what's his name? The boss.
Oh, okay, like the main guy.
Yeah. Cross between him, Castle, and like a sort of, what's his freaking name? The detective that's really smart. He's got his sidekick friend.
Sherlock?
Yeah, Sherlock vibes. But I'm not thinking of Sherlock as in
Yeah. Like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, not him. I'm thinking
Just like in general. Sherlock in general.
Anyways.
Think on that.
Yeah,
On
have
HR.
a think. Have a good think. You're just telling me what to do. Alright, well, thank you for watching. I hope you thought that was interesting.
I find that interesting.
If you want more in that kind of direction, storytelling that ways in like cases, but like we'd like to focus on like interesting or weird cases because our show's about the weird, the spiritual, and the spooky woo-woo aliens type of shit. So if you want anything in that direction, we can always do that again. I think that's fun.
Yeah.
And yeah. Thank you for watching. We love you.
Love you.
We hope you have a good rest of your day, night, or whatever it is, wherever you are. And yeah.
Just kidding.
And Charlie's barking at the door.
At the door. I don't like this.
Charlie just stood up and started barking at the door.
Maybe you like heard a neighbour or something.
Unless Bryce has already come home.
Oh, that's freaking me out. Alright, bye.
If we die, well, let's hope someone like Nancy Weber solves the case.
Well, if we die now, then no one's gonna ever see this. What do you mean?
missing files, or what's called missing footage. Found footage. Found footage files. No.